Alright, what is up guys? Israel here, back at it again with another video. I'm sorry that I completely missed out on January. Been very busy, got a lot of updates. If you guys want to hear an update video, I'm here for you. Whatever you want, let me know in the comments. But we're here with another video. As you can see, no waves, just letting the hair grow out for a minute. And that's how we do. So today's video is going to be the top 5 things to know about living off campus. This is a very important topic, especially when you're a sophomore. First is like where you're going to live and how to go about it, right? So why I say it's important to know a sophomore, because these places, U Club, Twin River, Hawley, and the other downtown areas, Oak, Murray, Front Street, Shenango, all these places fill up really quickly. So if you want to get a spot off campus, you need to be looking like a year in advance. So once you hit a sophomore year, right, the time to look is, you can look in the beginning, right? And remember, these are also college students. Not everybody's going to be on their stuff, figuring out housing and stuff. So that's why it's important for you to get the leg up, so that you could get the better places at the better prices and stuff like that. So at the start of sophomore year, you can start looking, but it's not like the biggest thing, but it's definitely good for you to look so that you can tour enough places to know if that housing situation is good for you, right? But really, you want to have a place locked down by the end of your sophomore year. So the second semester of sophomore year is where you really need to lock in. First semester of sophomore year, it's like, you know, lock in on other stuff, but like also have some time on the weekends or something to look at some apartments or houses. But really need to go hard on the second semester sophomore year, because houses, again, housing in general will just be a lot less options for you, and you're going to have to be stuck on campus. Now again, why would you even want to be off campus? The reason why you would want to be off campus is to eliminate a lot of fees, because it will be pretty cheaper, right, for living off campus than living on campus. And it's important to know that, you know, number 2, here we are, is where you're going to live. I guess number 2 and number 1 are pretty similar, but you have a bunch of options like I listed. I said Hawley, Twin River, U Club, Printing House, and then you have the other off-campus things. So the like 3 or 4 that I mentioned, U Club, Hawley, and Printing House, and Twin River, those are like the expensive / luxury living off-campus situations. Now, typically those, besides Printing House, are going to run you around $1,200 a month, something like that. In terms of amenities, it just depends on what you want. So if you live at U Club, right, you're going to be closer to campus. Like, it's literally like a 5-minute drive, or even less, depending on if there's traffic or not. But what makes U Club a lot better is that since you are closer to campus, you also have a bus that's right there, and the bus is literally all students, so you're not scary. Like, there's nothing to worry about in terms of random people getting on the bus and stuff like that, because the bus goes there and goes to campus. You also get a bunch of restaurants that are around you. So there's Chipotle, Five Guys, Red Chili, Copper Top, all these different like restaurants and food places you can go to literally right outside of your living space, because U Club is kind of like a city, little miniature town of apartments that you can just, you know, live in. So that's what makes it so appealing. And on top of that, when it's summer, summer if you're living there, or even just when it gets hot, the pool opens up and they have like a local pool. I don't know if it's big or not, but I haven't been there. You know, people use it sometimes when it's hot. What can I say? But again, the price for that is pretty close to campus because of those amenities and those types of things like that. The other 2 spots, which are very close in terms of what they offer, is Hawley and Twin River. Now, in my opinion, if I were to live off campus again, I would choose Twin River if I had the money and stuff like that, because I enjoyed it a lot better when I went on my tour. It was a lot more spacious for what you're paying for. It's a little bit cheaper than Hawley as well. And like, there's no shade to Hawley or anything, but that was just my experience when I was touring Twin River. I thought it was really cool. You get a pool table, you have your own gym. They set up classes there. They have like individual workspaces where you could be like quiet and stuff like that. And it's safe. They also have security, and you have parking. So I'm not sure if parking is separate though in terms of a cost. I'm not sure if that's all together or not. look into that. I'm going to be putting a website link for all of the different housing options that you can get. And then we have Hawley, where it has the same things. It's a little bit more expensive than Twin River, I found, and the space is smaller. You do get a gym, and they do have like a chef that cooks like protein and healthy meals and stuff like that, but that's like an extra cost, I'm pretty sure. So it has that, but again, you want to tour because their stuff, the things that they add are sometimes different, and they have different prices, right? So don't go completely off of this video. I suggest always touring. Don't just look at the pictures that are up, because they could be lies and stuff like that in terms of like how clean they look and stuff. But the thing about Hawley is that you do have to pay extra, but for parking, and the parking is underground, I'm pretty sure, but you have to get on that really quickly, since a lot of students do end up going there, because it is nice and it's in the heart of Binghamton. Parking spots are, hard to get. So if you don't apply for parking, then you're kind of screwed, and you have to look for, street parking, and that's tough, right? Because there's not a bunch of parking spaces at Binghamton. So those are the two that are commonly associated with each other. And then as I mentioned, Printing House is smaller, a lot cheaper. I think it's around $800, something like that, a month. And they have a basketball court that's like really meh, but like if you want to play basketball in your apartment, you're vibing. They have a gym that I hear is really good, actually. And I'm not sure in terms of distance from campus. I'm pretty sure it's the farthest from all of them. So U Club is the closest compared to everything, and then it goes like Hawley, then Twin River, and then Printing House. And then so after that, then you're like really downtown. You could choose different apartments or housing. So I'm in an apartment, and I love it. Living off campus has been great, but of course I'm making this video for you guys to know that there are some things associated. So the most important thing now is also to think about when you do choose, let's say you're not choosing those safe and luxurious spaces, when you're living off campus in a downtown area like Oak, Murray, Shenango, all this stuff, you need to be wary of your surroundings, obviously, because even though mostly it is student housing, and you'll see a lot of students, so it's not like a bunch to worry about, there are some locals that utilize the bus stations that are like the only bus stations that you can use, which is on Main Street. So I would just say be wary about that, and also just be wary at night, because Binghamton can get a little iffy sometimes. But this is just like a general life advice thing. It's nothing crazy. But since I am on the topic of transportation, this is the big thing, right? So if you have a car, you have to know if you'll have parking or not. I already said for Hawley, Twin River, that situation. U Club, I'm pretty sure you just have your own parking. I don't think that's a part of the expense, but again, look that up. For when you're living off campus, right? For me, I get my own spot, and then you can pay extra for another spot. So I paid extra for another spot just in case, because it is the three of us living together, and so street parking is pretty difficult, especially with the rules in terms of when you can park, because a lot of people get towed, tickets, all that stuff. So that's important. And so if you have a car, you need to know how you're going to park. Like that's like the biggest thing, because you're going to be using your car a lot to go to campus. And another thing is the bus, right? The bus can be a little tricky because, like I said, the locals use it as well sometimes. But if you're just using the Binghamton bus, then you should be fine. But in terms of like waiting for them, that can sometimes be a hassle. I know my friends get a little upset about like when they run late and stuff like that. So that's something to look into as well. I want to talk about a little bit about like the parking on campus. So now that you're not just restricted to like one area, you're probably going to get the commuter parking lot so that you could go to any lot. And so I would also suggest getting the Flowbird app, because sometimes it's really key, since I think it's around 85 cents just for an hour. And so if you need a quick spot for a class or something and you're late, I would suggest using the Flowbird parking spaces, because they are a lot closer to like your classes and stuff like that. But for me, I personally park in M lot all the time. I seem to always have a spot. Obviously the more traffic is like 12 p.m. And like 3 p.m. in terms of like how difficult it is to get a spot. But for me, I've always been able to get a spot in M lot. I don't mind walking, but if you mind walking, I suggest using Flowbird a lot. Or to just get there earlier, because a lot of people snag up spots on campus. Okay, so now that I talked about parking, knowing where to live, and how to get that stuff situated, I'm going to be talking about food and how you're going to work that out. So for me, I didn't want to do the meal plan again because the meals at Binghamton are, in my opinion, pretty bad, not very healthy, not very nutritious. So being off campus is very pro in terms of you being able to put whatever you want in your body and getting the groceries. So this becomes more of an issue when you don't have a car, because you're going to be utilizing the regular bus, or the Binghamton bus. I think also takes you to, actually I don't think it takes you to Wegmans or Aldi's, which a lot of people go to. So hopefully you have a ride for that. But since I'm thankful and lucky enough to have a car, my go-to is Aldi, and then whatever Aldi doesn't have, I go to Wegmans. So Aldi is a lot cheaper in terms of the food that they have and stuff like that. And I have a budget that I keep at too, so that I don't go overboard. And I can do a haul if you guys are interested in that as well. And so the reason why I do Aldi than Wegmans is because Aldi, even though it's less expensive, better bang for your buck, it does not have a bunch of stuff. It doesn't have a bunch of options, and I'm pretty sure there's only 2 Aldis too, so it's like one of the only ones, so a lot of traffic comes as well. So you need to know the best time to go, and honestly you could go at any time, but the time that I see them restocking a lot is during the week as opposed to on the weekends. So if you could go like Friday, early Saturday, I think you should be fine in terms of getting what you want. But I would just suggest trying to not go on the weekends, since a lot of the produce gets taken out by that time. And then I go to Wegmans because Wegmans is, even though it's a lot more expensive, it does have host a lot more variety in terms of food options and stuff like that. So with the increase in egg prices, I found that Wegmans has been cheaper at $4.79 compared to $5.71 that Aldi and Wegmans also has. So I've really just been using it for that and some like other stuff that Aldi's doesn't have, like some sauces that I put on my meals and such. That's my strat. I know sometimes some people can't do that, but that would be my advice to people living off campus, is to do that Aldi then Wegmans, so you could save money, get what you need, and then get whatever extra stuff from Wegmans. And Wegmans, it has been rising in popularity, but I would say, even though that it's so popular and the produce is good, it's like sometimes I found things in their fruits that are questionable. So you always have to just look and go and experience in order for you to just don't just blindly go to places just because you get a lot of hype. And that goes for everything, like the housing situation, all that stuff. But it's just something to know, something to recognize. So those are the 4 things so far. I got parking, I got food, I got where to live, how to do it. So 5 is a little bit of a funnier thing right now, because it's like Binghamton gets really cold, but it can get really hot, right? Just like anywhere. And the heating systems, the cooling systems typically cost a lot of money. So, or don't tend to heat up enough. It's not even about the money. They don't even sometimes work. Like our heater can't even hit 70 degrees sometimes, because it just takes so long to heat up. And so I got my own space heater, which is so key. You know what? Let me show you guys, because this is actually ridiculous. This is the space heater I got. Went to Walmart, copped this for $20. Game changer. Of course, I don't blast this the entire time. Don't do that. That will increase your utility bill by a lot if you have to pay for that. So I only run it maybe for like 10-15 minutes. Warms up my room, perfectly cozy. I put it on low, don't even put it on high, and it gets the job done, especially when I finish taking a shower, because sometimes like in the beginning when it got really cold, I'd be taking a shower, nice hot shower, come outside freezing, and like I just have to like go back in the shower so that I can warm up. So I use this to warm my room up so I can come in here and actually change and everything. So that's really key. And then another key thing is also to get a fan. I have this fan right here. It's a room fan, obviously. That is also key because there is no cooling system that we have in my apartment. Other places don't have that either. I think U Club, yeah, U Club, Holly, Twin River, they all have their systems that are like keep it cool and stuff. So I don't think you have to worry about that. But if you're like off campus, on a different like street downtown, you're gonna need to get both of these things as a just in case. I would fully suggest. Okay, so actually I'm gonna do one more bonus tip. Is your social life and your activities, because it becomes a lot difficult to hang out with your friends if you're not all together and you're all in different areas. Like I have friends in U Club, I have friends in Twin River, Holly, different places off campus, and it's hard to meet up with each other. And that's just like the reality, because now when you're living here junior year, senior year, you got stuff going on, and you don't really have the time sometimes to like meet up with people, or it's difficult to get everybody's times because not everybody's on campus anymore. So it becomes more difficult, and that's something to look out for. And it's important for you to try to set up a schedule or something where you meet every week, either on campus or go out to eat with each other, or if one of you have a big house, host something, because those do matter, and it can be a little depressing like being away from everybody and everything. Thankfully I have 2 other roommates, so you know it's fun, and we're together and we use the porch that we have to hang out and stuff like that, but for others, I can imagine it being very difficult living away from everybody else, and that's just like another reality, another thing to look out for, because this is like another stage of life. Like you are living on your own now, and more on your own terms, and there's a lot more responsibility in terms of getting to classes, eating the right meals, and making sure your overall health is aligned, because no one else is going to hold your hand. As I keep saying throughout most of these videos, is like you're on your own and you got to figure it out. And I know it's scary, but we all have to go through it, and we will get through it. So hopefully some of these tips will help you. If I didn't go as much in depth, please let me know. Please let me know more things you want me to talk about. These are just kind of like off my mind. I wrote them down, but those are like the top things that I would talk about when someone's new to the game of going off campus and getting the right spot and what to know, what to do. And hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully I gave out some insight, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.